Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now Kubrat Pulev hasn't stopped talking, has he? Ever since he got this fight with Anthony Joshua, all he has done is just talk. He doesn't need to build the fight, it's a big fight anyway because Anthony Joshua is involved. But he just keeps talking. He keeps saying that Anthony Joshua is mentally weak, Anthony Joshua cannot beat him, and he will knock him out in the same fashion Ruiz did. Well, first of all, he's not the same fighter as Andy Ruiz Jr. Andy Ruiz Jr. is smaller, faster, more powerful than Kubrat Pulev, moves better as well despite being a lot heavier. So Pulev isn't even the same kind of fighter. So how is he going to knock Anthony Joshua out in the same way? Especially considering Anthony Joshua was kind of naive at that point. I mean, he was still learning. He underestimated Andy Ruiz Jr. and ultimately paid the price. Will he do the same again against Kubrat Pulev? No, because he has learned from his mistakes. Don't rush in when the guy's hurt and think you can just finish them. He should have learned that against Vladimir Klitschko, but it took him that Andy Ruiz Jr. loss to understand that and look at the rematch. So Kubrat Pulev saying that Anthony Joshua is mentally weak, look what AJ done in that rematch. Look at how Anthony Joshua outboxed Andy Ruiz Jr. because going back in there with the guy who was the first man to beat you in the ring and in that fashion as well in your American debut just 5 or 6 months after that, I mean, that took someone who is extremely mentally strong. If he was mentally weak, he would have come apart in that rematch. Anthony Joshua clearly proven all of the doubters wrong in that rematch, and Kubrat Pulev saying Anthony Joshua is mentally weak. Well, what about his performance against Vladimir Klitschko? His only career defeat, but he came apart completely in that fight. I mean, what was he doing? As soon as he was hurt, he stood in the center of the ring, his feet were square, and he wasn't even looking for that left hook coming, and it just landed again and again and again, and Pulev done nothing. So who came apart mentally in that fight? Is Anthony Joshua mentally weak for losing to Andy Ruiz Jr. and then coming back 5 or 6 months later and winning his belts back in Saudi Arabia in a foreign country against the man who's the first man to defeat him as a professional? Or is Kubrat Pulev mentally weak for going in there against an experienced champion? And again, there is no shame in losing to someone like Vladimir Klitschko. He's a legend, he's a great champion. But ultimately Pulev in that fight did come apart mentally because, as I said, as soon as he was hurt, he didn't do anything to stop what was coming back. He didn't even try to defend against that left hook. It just landed. He was there to be hit the whole time. His feet were square as well. He was standing in the center of the ring, doing everything that Vladimir Klitschko needed him to do. So did Anthony Joshua come apart mentally in his rematch with Andy Ruiz Jr.? No. Did Kubrat Pulev come apart in his fight against Vladimir Klitschko? Yes, he did. So who's mentally weak and who's mentally strong? So Pulev saying that Anthony Joshua is mentally weak, I believe he is pointing out his own weakness. I mean, we see that a lot these days. People find their own insecurities in other people just so they don't feel so bad. Pulev believes that Anthony Joshua is not mentally strong enough to beat him in the ring, even though he has wins against Vladimir Klitschko, the guy who beat Pulev, against Joseph Parker, against Andy Ruiz Jr., against Dillian Whyte, after being hurt in that second round. So Anthony Joshua has a proven track record of being mentally strong. Does Kubrat Pulev? As I said, he's probably just looking for insecurities in Anthony Joshua that he suffers with himself. And guys, I'll read you what Kubrat Pulev said, and it's kind of funny considering what I've just said about Pulev and what we've just revealed, really. This is what he said. Mentally is something you are born with. You have it inside you. Also, being mentally strong is a skill you have to work on from a very young age. It begins with the family a kid grows up with, and then you strengthen your mentality as an adult. Joshua's mentality, meanwhile, is a whole lot different, and it's just a matter of time for him to lose. So there we go. Anthony Joshua has had many more world title fights than Kubrat Pulev. Pulev's had one, and as I said, he came apart in that fight. So, I mean, it is kind of amusing how naive this guy really is by saying this about Anthony Joshua. I don't see how he can believe that because, as I said, Anthony Joshua has a proven track record of fighting top-level opponents and not coming apart mentally. Kubrat Pulev has one fight at the top level and he comes apart mentally. So who is the one who is mentally not strong now? Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, click your thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.